Jana Vallabha Giribharatari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupat Paramhansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Shatashishimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupat Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Shatashishimad His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantara Shivam Bhagavatam Ki Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Oh, glory to the assembled devotees. Oh, glory to the assembled devotees. Oh, glory to the assembled devotees. Oh, glory to Shishiguru and Shigoranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 59, The Killing of the Demon Narakasura, Text 38, 39, and 40. Text 38. Gatva Surendra Bhavanam Dattva Ditya Chakundale Pujita Strita Sendrena Mahendrianya Chasapriya Gatva Surendra Bhavanam Dattva Ditya Chakundale Pujita Strita Sendrena Mahendrianya Chasapriya Gatva Surendra Bhavanam Dattva Ditya Chakundale Pujita Strita Sendrena Mahendrianya Chasapriya. Please chant. Gatva Surendra Bhavanam Dattva Ditya Chakundale Pujita Strita Sendrena Mahendriyanya cha sa priya Gatva surendra bhavanam Dattva ditya chakundale Pujitastri dashendrena Mahendriyanya cha sa priya Gatva surendra bhavanam Dattva ditya chakundale Pujitastri dashendrena Mahendranya cha sa priya Gatva going Sura of the demigods Indra of the king Bhavanam to the abode Dattva giving Adityai to Aditi the mother of Indra Cha and Kundale her earrings Pujitaha worshipped Tridasa of the 30 chief demigods, Indrena by the chief Mahaindriyanya, by the wife of Lord Indra, Cha and Sa, together with Priyaha, his beloved, Queen Satyabhama. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord then went to the abode of Indra, the demigod's king, and gave Mother Aditi her earrings. There, Indra and his wife worshipped Krishna and his beloved consort Satyabhama. Then, at Satyabhama's behest, the Lord uprooted the heavenly Parijata tree and put it on the back of Garuda. After defeating Indra and all the other demigods, Krishna brought the Parijata to his capital. Text number 40. Translation. Once planted, the Parijata tree beautified the garden of Queen Satyabhama's palace. Bees followed the tree all the way from heavens, greedy for its fragrance and sweet sap. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakajat Chakshur Ummilitangena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Rama Swami Iti Namane. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, Srila Jiva Goswami comments on text 38 and 39. The details of going to Indra's abode are given in Vishnu Purana. Quote, Garuda very easily carried the umbrella of Varuna, the jewel mountain, Krishna and his wife, and went to Swarga. The Lord blew his conch when he arrived at the gate of Swarga. The Devatas arrived and worshipped Krishna with Arghya. After being worshipped, Krishna entered Aditi's abode, which resembled a shining peak, and saw her. He offered her respects. Along with Indra, and presented her with her excellent earrings. he described to Indra the killing of Naraka. Later, it is said, quote, Indra, in gratitude, along with Aditi, worshipped Krishna sufficiently, showing great respect. And the Harivansa said, quote, he was worshipped by Indra and presented with jewels. Satyabhama was welcomed by Indra's wife properly. And the Vishnu Purana describes how his wife requested the parijata. Quote, Krishna saw that parijata filled with fragrance, laden with masses of buds, producing coolness and joy, decorated with pink, young shoots, and golden bark. It has been produced from the churning of the milk ocean. On seeing that tree, Satyabhama spoke to Krishna. Oh, best of the Brahmanas, oh Krishna, why can this tree not be brought to Dwarka? If your words are true and I'm really dear to you, please bring that tree to the garden in my house. Oh Krishna, you have many times said that you do not desire Jambavati or Rukmini as much as you desire me. Oh Govinda, if you have spoken true and your words are not just a decoration, then the parijata should decorate my house. Carrying a bud of the parijata in my hair among all the co-wives, I will be glorious. That is what I desire. End of quote. Completely conquering Indra, he brought the tree to Dwarka and his reward for helping Indra. And in the Srila Jiva Goswami also comments on text number 40. They continue like that. So, Srila Jiva Goswami. This verse glorifies the parijata. Vishnu Purana gives details. So basically the verse that says that the parijata tree beautified the garden of Satyabhama's palace and the bees were following the Garuda and the tree from heaven. So the bees from heaven also came. So Srila Jiva Goswami. This verse glorifies the parijata. Vishnu Purana gives details. Quote, the smell of the tree perfumed the earth for 3 furlongs. And on approaching it, it enabled everyone to recollect the events of prior existence, so that on beholding their faces in that tree, all the Yadavas saw themselves in celestial forms. So a furlong, I find out that is a British measuring of land that is about roughly 1/3 of a mile. So it will be like 1 mile. Within 1 mile, the fragrance of the tree was completely covering the whole atmosphere. So you just can't imagine that. Sometimes, you come into a room that has maybe jasmine or some of those, and then the fragrance, just permeate the whole room. Or imagine 1 mile radius that the parijata tree will completely, cover with fragrance the whole atmosphere. So from the Vishnu Purana, people who were not far away could hear various instruments and sweet singing coming from the tree. Whoever had even a slight desire in their heart received that object immediately from the parijata. So the parijata is a kalpa vriksha tree. By desire, the tree of Krishna will become small or large. It was most remarkable. Sometimes its branches cover the whole Dwarka. Sometimes it could be held in the hand, becoming as small as a thumb. Varuna's umbrella was given to Indra. This is some detail also that is revealed in the Vishnu Purana. The Jewel Mountain was brought to Dwarka. Harivansa described this. Quote, Krishna entered his house and placed the Jewel Mountain there, as well as the great Parijata tree dear to Indra. Yes, so Krishna also installed that Biju mountain peak. There was a playground for the demigods, but he also brought that and put it in Satyabhama's palace. So it's quite a remarkable pastime because one can just externally just look at the situation. Indra comes to the Lord to ask for help, to um, address the situation which this demon, Naraka, have stole items and insulted the demigods in such a way that it was very disrupted to the universal order. So Krishna takes care of that business and then now kills the demons, again takes those stolen items from the heavenly planets and brings it back to to the heavens, to Swarga Loka, and was again to bring those things to Indra and to the demigods. And he does that. He gave the umbrella. He gave the earrings to Aditi. These were very special items. And he is worshipped and honored in the planets of the demigods in the kingdom of Indra. So in one sense, they come there into a kingdom. They have helped that kingdom, and they're being honored there. Krishna and Satyabhama. And then Satyabhama looks something that is part of that property, a tree that is almost like an emblem of the heavens, a special tree that was given to the demigods, to Lord Indra, when the churning of the ocean of milk happened. So it was one of the many items that came out of that churning of the ocean of milk. And, along so many of those items, the Surabhi cow came, the nectar of immortality came, the Lakshmi Devi, the elephant of Indra. So many different items came, very wonderful items came from that journey. And of course, we're not talking about personalities such as Lakshmi Devi as an item, but so many wonderful things. So Satyabhama, she looks at that tree and immediately, she already had this sort of competitive nature because it happens that one Parijata flower was given to Rukmini. And Satyabhama was a leader, you know, she had this competitive nature, and it came out in the purport of Srila Jiva Goswami that she was, telling Krishna that, you know, uh, she wanted to be glorious among all these co-wives. She wanted to be the most glorious. So Rukmini has one parijata flower, but she wants a parijata tree when she saw. So she's asking for that, and Krishna took it. Now, you may think that, wait a minute, that doesn't sound very nice. That you come as a guest into someone else's home and you look at some of the opulent things that this person had, and you decide to take it with you. And of course, Indra didn't take this very, very happily. He was upset. And he fought for it. And mind that, Indra just asked Krishna for help. But it almost was like, well, I asked for help because one fellow came and took away things from my kingdom. And now you, who is helping me, comes and takes, this other important thing from my kingdom. So, the same way he fought, Narakasura, well, now he's fighting Krishna. Now, how can we understand this? I mean, in one sense, the Lord is independent, but it's a very simple principle. It's a principle that is explained in the Sri Ishopanishad. It's the Ishavasya principle. And throughout the scriptures, it's very clearly explained that everything in this world is a property of the Lord. And that's that's one of the most important principles to be able to exist in this world in complete harmony with the Lord's creation. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that there's three things that we have to understand in order to have that peace and happiness, to be able to live in this world peaceful and happiness. The Sri Upanishad also says that one can live for hundreds of years in happiness and auspiciousness and not being touched by the actions and reactions of this world by accepting this Ishavasya principle. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that there's three things He expanded. This Ishavasya principle is expanded to three things. That the Lord is a Bhaktaran Jagyatapasham. He is the enjoyer of all works and sacrifices. So it's for His enjoyment. It's a principle of acting in this world. That every Jagya is the Jagya Purusha. He is the enjoyer. He is the Bhaktaran Jagya Tapasam. All the tapasyas, all the Jagyas, He is the enjoyer. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. That He is the proprietor of all the cosmic creation. And Sruhidan Sarvabhutanam. That He is as a super soul in every living entity. Within the heart of every living entity, He acts as the benefactor, as a supreme benefactor. And in the Sri Upanishad, the first mantra tells us this Ishavasya principle, Ishavasya idam sarvam, that everything in this world Jatkinchan Jagatyam Jagat. This Jagat means, everything inanimate or animate in this world. Everything in this world is a property and is controlled by the personality of Godhead, the Param Ishvara, or the supreme control. So, to forget this principle is the cause of um, of all suffering in this world. It's a cause of falling down from the proper consciousness. It's a cause that brings the living entity into this world. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that the two causes for falling into the spiritual world is this ichcha dvesha samutena, that is desire and hate. The desire to actually enjoy this world as mine. It's for my enjoyment. And then naturally is the enviousness that arises and originally is directed at Krishna, but then expands to anything that we may see as desirable for myself. So, if I see something desirable that I don't have, then I become envious of someone who has it. So that is the principle that brings it, living entity, into this material manifestation. So when we forget that, then we are completely covered by this, what is it? Also in the second chapter, Krishna explains that this Boga Aishwarya condition that the living entity takes, Boga Aishwarya Prashaktanam, that I want to be the enjoyer and I want to be the controller. And you see that basically I just want to be that Ishavasya principle is not for the Lord, it's for me. So I take it's my property, it's for my enjoyment. So, but the fact is that everything is the property of the Lord. So in this case, the Lord is only taking his property. And the fact is that when one is established in the Ishavasya principle, one must understand that whatever I have is not mine, is the Lord's property. I'm just simply being a guardian of the Lord's property. And the Lord have the right to take or give us, whatever we have. And that's part of the Ishavasya principle, tena tyaktena bunjita, that the Lord give us a particular quota by which we can actually function in this world very happily. And when we are dissatisfied from this quota, then we get into trouble. And that's that's part of the Ishavasya principle. You should be fully satisfied with what the Lord provides. So the understanding that the Lord is a proprietor and the maintainer of all of us is to be established in the Ishavasya principle. Everything belongs to Krishna. In the 7th chapter, Krishna say that all these material elements, the 8 elements of matter, gross and subtle, 5 gross, 3 subtle, they're nothing but his planes. Bina prakriti, bina prakriting astadam. These eightfold are my bina prakriti. They're my external energy. My external energy. He says it very clear. He says it very clear. So everything that is manifested in this material world, that is a combination of these 8 elements, is his energy. But not only that, it's not only this material creation, but it's also the spiritual manifestation, because he says in the next verse, he says that besides that, there's a superior energy that is spiritual, that is param. Prakritim bhidi me param. Same thing, that this prakritin, this param, this para prakriti is his too. It should be understood that his, bhidi me. It should be understood as his. So he is the owner of everything. And in this case, as Krishna provides for us, then the danger is when we forget this principle, this Abhyasa principle, then we start to take proprietorship over things. The fruits of my work is my property and is for my enjoyment. And then when we forget that, then there's trouble. We can see Krishna. And it's such a powerful condition that even Lord Indra, that is in constant, you can see that it goes from being chastised by Krishna, being held by Krishna, being in Krishna's presence, worshiping Krishna, and it fluctuates into this remembrance and forgetfulness. So when something touches, some more deep-rooted attachment and this identity of seeing yourself as the enjoyer and the controller in this world, then immediately it's like something gets covered. And it can act, even from a person as elevated as Indra, with that type of capacity to be in the presence of Lord Krishna. And it still forgets. So it's quite something. I mean, we cannot take it for granted in one sense. That if it happens on those levels, what to speak in our level, that, we're not able to see Krishna face to face. I mean, we have the great fortune that Krishna descends in his Archamurti and allow us to serve him and to see him every day. But these demigods, elevated demigods, they have personal exchange with, especially in this situation, with Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. And it happens. Forgets. It's Krishna's property, so if he desires to take his properties and put it in the palace of one of his dear queens, it's his property. One should be very happy. Oh, yes, immediately. Actually, why you take it? I should take it. Why burden in Garuda? Let me take my elephant and put it in the back of the elephant and then go and just have planted myself there. If there was a proper understanding. It's etiquette. but we forget that etiquette when when we get covered by this, especially by these two things, the Boga Aishwarya, that I am the enjoyer, I am the controller. It's quite something. It's quite something uh, that is powerful, and it can go from very, very gross manifestation to very subtle manifestation. And it's just all pervading in the conditioned souls in this material world. So we have to seriously be applying Krishna's system, which is a system that allows us by devotional practice to become purified of this condition, of this, Boga Aishwarya principle, and embrace the real liberating Ishavasya principle. And I stop here. Any comments or questions? Can you bring the microphone to this lady? Thank you, bro. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the class. So, I forgot what were the two reasons why we come to the material world. I think it is one is jealousy and one is, I forgot,
Desire.
desire. But there can be also one other reason, which is salvation, because only in the human form of life can we attain salvation. Because if we have a lot of desire, we go to the heavenly worlds, enjoy, and fall back again. And if we have jealousy, I don't know about that, but there is a third thing why a person might come to this material world, because only as a human being and on earth can we attain salvation forever. So salvation meaning being with God forever, and not falling down from that eternal stage of being with God.
Yeah, what I'm repeating, I'm just quoting the words of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So he mentions two things. He doesn't mention three.
One has to be free from desire and hate. Then you are automatically free.
Yes.
If you're not free from desire and hate, then you can always go on in this world.
Yeah. The other thing when Krishna says when we obtain that um, Brahma Bhuta stage, then one is free of two things, which is hankering and lamentation.
Lamentation and hankering.
So hankering about what? About all the things that I desire, and lamentation is the things that I lost, or the things that I, like that.
You're completely dependent on Krishna as well.
Yeah.
Whatever you desire is going to happen to you.
And you become happy.
Then you become happy,
Prasanatma.
Free from possessions, free from ownership, free from everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Krishna.
It seems an odd thing that there's transgression of etiquette, because even with strong desires of possessiveness or identifying with some objects, it seems etiquette wouldn't be transgressed so easily somehow, it seems to me, because generally persons are so trained to follow etiquette that, it overrides attachments. So It seems unusual that the balance tips in the direction of breaking etiquette.
Oh, but you see how powerful it is when one becomes overcome by this controlling propensity, this uh, this Ishvara, I am the controller. So I'm driving this, I have it under control. I see something I desire, oh, it is desirable. And then it can be in so many subtle ways because one can have a particular, we see it even in our situations, we're trying to sincerely serve the Lord. And, but we still get afflicted, and we've been told be very mindful and monitor those propensities as you do service, that don't think that you're controlling. Remember the Krishna's instruction, what is it, karma dieva dikaraste ma paleshu ma pareshu bakadacham, that don't consider yourself the doer or the enjoyer of the fruits. Ma karma pala heturbhur. Don't think, that this is so. Act in such a way that you understand you're being empowered by Krishna, and Krishna is controlling. But it's not easy because we're conditioned. We're conditioned to have this. We're still conditioned by this icha dvesha, and we have to free ourselves from that. So in subtle ways, if I start to see this, I am the controller, then somehow or other, I start to rationalize everything around. So then I see in that type of mentality that I am the Ishvara, then I may see, oh, actually, I'm not breaking any etiquette. He is breaking, Krishna is breaking the etiquette. It's quite something. Indra, with Krishna in front, after worshiping Krishna, and Krishna is taking the tree, he considered Krishna a transgressor that should be punished. It's like mind boggling. When you take the perspective of a devotee, you know? Uh, but that's what this, possessiveness and does. And it becomes, we see it in a more level, in our level. Sometimes we can see ourselves in that situation. Sometimes we'll be on the receiving end of someone else in that situation, that there is some overlap or some lack of etiquette in which, but the person is convinced that they're acting according to proper rules and proper etiquette. And if you try to interfere, oh, you're breaching, you're being offensive or disconsiderate or like that, So it's quite something. It's very subtle. So we have to be very mindful of that and keep monitoring this. If there is conflict, we know when there's smoke, there's fire. So we have to start to see where is the source of this fire. If I'm feeling disturbed, then okay, why? In general, it's have to do with some frustration. It have to do with some attachment, and then I have to see what are the subtle sources of that, and then see how I can. Oh, remember, Krishna is in control. Krishna is in control, and Krishna, all his purposes, everything he does, what is it? Is what is it? The invocation of the Ishopanishad. Huh? No, the invocation that Krishna is complete. Um, I just have a blank in my head. Om Purnan Adapurnam Idam Purnam Purnan. That he is complete. So everything is perfect and complete. So everything he does, it will be perfect. His timing is perfect. His arrangement is perfect, and we just receive it gracefully. That is just perfect. And if we don't understand, at least we can have faith. It's perfect, so it will be revealed to me how perfect it is. So, okay. Thank you so much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.